on the glass, right? And that's where this game could be won. You look at Hawaii. Hawaii's 23 and 0 this year. 23 and 0 when out rebounding their opponent. 23 and 0. Pretty impressive, right? And as we know, when it comes to tournament, the size doesn't always matter. If you get the tenacity to go down there and bang the boards, um, chances are you do well. And you look at a Maryland team that, yeah, they rebound, but for the most part, rebounds are fairly even throughout the games that they play. I'll take the points in this one with Hawaii. I'll split my bet, and it's going to be a free play. I'll split my bet between the first half and the second half, okay? In the Xavier game, by the way, I do have -4, and we all know I have a future on them. We'll hedge that. But more importantly, when we're talking about hedging, okay, if you guys followed me and listened to me, I said it 5 times the first time Oregon was playing Arizona before that game. I said, guys, get in on this Oregon to win the tournament at 100-1. If they get in, we can hedge, no problem. Just play it at 100-1. It's where it's at. Well, right now it's 14-1. Okay, if you locked it in at 101, we didn't hedge the first game, so you're still sitting on the 101 ticket. Well, there's a few ways you can hedge, especially on 5 dimes, that will offer better odds than just betting the opposite end on the money line. However, St. Joe's is getting, on the money line, you're getting 3-1, so it's not too bad. What I would want to do here, okay, to make things easy, you got a $100 bet on Oregon to win 10,000, right? So you want to make sure you're at least out of the 10,000, you want to hedge off at least, I don't know, 400 or 500 at plus 300 to win 1,200, right? To make it easier. What I did was, and it's not a great hedge, but with the odds, it's going to work. St. Joe's, I got at 275-1 to win the national championship. So also a hedge, right? So if I didn't hedge it and I'm stuck with St. Joe's to win the national championship at 275-1, obviously I can hedge big time with those odds in the next game. So it depends on how you do it. But there's other ways to do it. You could have done certain teams to win their bracket and other ways. But just make sure you're hedging if you're doing that. Anyway, so we got that left. I got the St. Joe's one left. I got a Stephen F. Austin 100-1 ticket. Hopefully, we got the Xavier at 40-1 and 25-1 earlier, which is crazy. I got on Xavier before the season started and only got 25-1. But regardless, and that's that. So as far as the game, very interesting game. I think it'll be the best game of the day. Saving it for last, and you look at an Oregon team that just looked absolutely great against Holy Cross, but St. Joe's has played tight games all day, all game, all the time. But they just have not been playing good defense, right? Especially in transition at the 3, not looking good. They're giving up a ton of points. You look at their last 6 games, right? 4 wins in those last 6 games. They've averaged giving up 82.5 points a game, right? And none of those opponents had better offensive numbers than this Oregon team, right? It sets up to be, a shootout for Oregon on the offensive end, right? They did score 78. St. Joe's did score 78 points in 62 possessions against Cincinnati. That's fucking pretty damn good. But they also allowed Cincinnati, who is not a great offense at all, to shoot better than 50% from the field and hit the 10 3-pointers, right? St. Joe's is the ultimate over team in the tournament. Defense, giving up 80 points a game, and they can also score. Fucking A with Notre Dame. No defense. Oregon will play some, though, but just think, Cincinnati had one of their best offensive performances of the season in that game against St. Joe's. What's Oregon going to do if they could, if they put up anywhere near those type of numbers that, efficiency-wise, they're going to have way more. Damn, that kid's good. Way more chances anyway. This is a tough thing to play, as you guys might have heard, roaming around Twitter now. When a team is getting less than 20% or less of the public money coming in, right? And right now they're actually getting 29. But you look at Wisconsin, they're getting 22, which is close. But amazingly, right, and of course, oh, yes! Amazingly, I'm on a 10-second delay, guys, so when you hear me cheering and it's like 10 seconds after a basket, that's why. What a shot. Fuck yeah. 20% or less, teams are 10-1 in this tournament, right? Vegas cleans up on those. So you got to watch for those. Xavier is floating around that number. Another reason why it's not a client play. This one, however, I got a tease going, right? And I got Oregon down. Talk about the hedge. I like St. Joe's either way. I think this game falls between Oregon -2 and Oregon -12. It's right in that window. I think it's a good game to tease. Fortunately today, right, with all these sixes on the board and 5s, 6s, 7s, it's a great day for teases. You can get those numbers down to one possession, -1, -0.5, or you can get them way up. I think if you tease a lot of these games, the Texas A&M, the Syracuse, the Hawaii, Maryland, the Oregon, if you tease those any which way, you're probably going to land in the middle. Knock on wood. I've done a 4-team tease each of the last days and hit them both. So, it often does fall in there. But that's where I'm at with that. As far as a play on it, I don't know. I know that I have a lot of things open, whether it's parlays or teases that come down to that last game. So I'm up in the air on how to play it. Like I said, it's a big number. Oregon could run away with this game. Oregon could throw up 95 points on St. Joe's. Legit, 95. St. Joe's is scrappy, but if you start hitting that 15 to 20 zone and this Oregon offense gets rolling, they're a fucking freight train, man. They'll look a lot like that Villanova team did. Not quite as good. Villanova played the perfect half of basketball. But they can get rolling like that, and when they do, they're a tough team to play against. And they can rip the heart out of a St. Joe's team real quick. But they got a lot of fight in them. The back door's open on that one. Like I said, be careful with that. But that's that on that. You also get an NIT game tonight, Georgia St. Mary's. I don't know. That's another one. I don't know about that one. But to recap, VCU +7. That's the free play. The Xavier game, free play. Okay, free play on that one. Hawaii first half and game, taking the points. That's a free play, splitting the bet. We had the Nova one. That was earlier for the client play. We got the 2-unit client play on Stephen F. Austin. We got the Syracuse over as a client play. We got the Northern Iowa over also as a client play. So we got that rolling. I'm taking a prop bet, and if you listen to the show when we hit that parlay in hockey a couple weeks back where we had 2 of the games to go to overtime, and it paid like 15 to 1. One of those games was Washington against Pittsburgh. I like that play. I like you getting +240 that the game will go to overtime. Obviously don't go crazy on it. But we got that. I mentioned Arizona in baseball. That's something else we can look at. Also, I'm up in the air right now with this hockey, this Montreal game. You got a kid starting for Calgary that hasn't started in a year in net. You got Montreal with more injuries than you know what to do with. They're basically, they got a minor league team out there. The total is at 5.5. I sent out the 5.5. Maybe the team total is not bad on Montreal because of the old goalie, but either way, you might want to look at something towards the over on that. Some other games to look at. San Jose, 240 is a big number. Don't lay it. They should win, but Arizona just beat them a few days ago. It's too big of a number for San Jose. Arizona's been playing decent. Colorado at Edmonton. Colorado needs the win. Edmonton's been a scrappy team lately. Big game, Minnesota against the Blackhawks. That should be a good one. Blackhawks I don't know. They finally got a win. I don't know if they get their swagger back. They've been struggling a little. Minnesota fighting for a playoff spot. They've been playing pretty good. But either way, what's that, a shot clock violation? Well, that's not fucking good. So either way, that's that. And we got Anaheim. But that'll do it, guys. I'll let you guys get back to this last 2.5 minutes. Enjoy it. Again, guys, remember, we all became fans before we became sports bettors. Don't let the money take away from the enjoyment of what this truly is. And it's great entertainment. So get that going. Hopefully you get a NASCAR play. I got Jimmy Johnson rolling today, and we'll be back with baseball previews next week, most importantly. And right before the season starts, a week from Friday, we got Peter Gammons on. We got some other big guests on. A lot going on. If you want to get on for baseball, make sure you do it now. Few spots left. Usually this upcoming week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when I like to do it. There's not a lot of sports going on. We can start focusing on that. And that's when I usually close registration. So if you want to get at me, get at me. Baseball, we do fantasy. That's all included. All the sports are included. Also included NHL that we've been kicking ass in this year. Get at me for it. We're going to have a big season. Let's hope we can close out this week with some wins here tonight and move on. If your bracket's not busted, then congratulations. If it is, don't feel so bad because everyone else's will be soon enough too. As this guy gets to the line. This guy reminds me, he looks like a combination of like Bryce Harper's little brother and the guy from, who's that guy? Not the most interesting man in the world, but the other one, Captain Obvious. He's a cross between Bryce Harper and Captain Obvious is what I'm going with for this guy. Either way, have a good night, guys. Going to close, just cut it out quick, get back to it, enjoy it. 2 minutes, great basketball here, and we get into a big night of sports, college hoops. Let's get it going. As always, we'll be back tomorrow, another edition of the Money Tank. I am Sean, a.k.a. Guppy Bunny. Good luck. Let's make some money tonight, and everyone, have a good night.